think that entrepreneurship is all about the business.
That's not true. Absolutely not true. Once you know yourself, who you are, what do you want, what you already know within yourself, you will definitely be successful. That I guarantee you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Personal Development for Entrepreneurs. I am Ikram here with my good friend and mentor, Dr. Venga. Today's episode, we are going to be talking about time management for busy professionals. And we're assuming that many of you, our viewers, are busy professionals. Many of you are wearing many hats. You're a husband or a wife, you're a mother or a father, you're an entrepreneur, or perhaps even a employee. On top of that, you're a son, you're a daughter, you're a mother, you're a father. So there's so many things or hats that we need to wear, so much to do, but so little time. And in today's episode, we've got Dr. Venga here to peel this away like an onion and tell us how do busy professionals manage their time. Good evening, Dr. Venga.
Good evening, Ikram. Good evening. So how are you today?
I am good. I'm a busy professional as well. So I'm looking forward to this episode. We've always been talking about time management, or inevitably, whenever we do our these sessions, there is talk of managing your time or managing yourself. But busy professionals will complain. I understand what you're saying, but it's tough. I've got multiple things. I've got so many stakeholders to deal with. People, I don't have control over my time because people keep pulling me here and there on different things. I've got a boss to report to. There's just so many things, right? And people get overwhelmed. You were a busy professional as well, Venga. So, if anyone can talk about this, I think it's you. You were the managing director for a large pharmaceutical with your own, operational problems and sales targets to meet and so forth. How did you manage your time?
Well, Ikram, welcome to my world. There are three things I learned at a very early stage in life. Very, very early, as much as I was trying to learn how to read and write at the age of between 13 and 16, learn to read and write, and at the same time, understanding what is life, what everybody's trying to achieve. Then I developed this all by myself, and that is to understand three important things. First of all, I have a mind.
Right.
Second of all, I have time. And third, there is a thing called money. Now, there are three things, huh? So there is the mind, the time, and the money. Now, I then realized that time, of course, I'm using a very professional word now, Lana. At that point in time, I understand one thing. I can't touch time. I can't measure it. It's there, but I don't know whether it's there or not. So is time objective or subjective? I came to the conclusion that time is subjective.
Mm-hmm.
But I also realized that in a day, there is only 16 hours of wake time. We are awake for 16 hours.
Right.
By the time I'm 20 years old, I'm very clear on that. So time is a subjective, not an objective. Number two, I have a brain. The brain is objective because I know I have a brain. I've read some books. It says I got a brain, fine. That's okay, objective. But what the brain is doing is not the mind. It is just a computing station. It's doing a whole lot of things. It's managing my kidney, my liver, my spleen, my arm, my leg, my everything. So is the brain objective? Yes. But the mind is subjective. Meaning, I actually cannot measure my thinking. I can't say, okay, from this, from here to there, I want to measure what you're thinking. Cannot. It's not an objective thing to do. It's a very subjective thing. That's how I got interested in understanding the Indian civilization from the 1820s. Now you know. Okay. Two things. Time is subjective. Mind is subjective.
Right.
The third thing, money. When we see the note, the dollar, our ringgit, it's very objective, right? It's very objective, $1.
That's right. Yeah.
But it's only a piece of paper. I give the paper, I can get goods. Objective. But whether this $1 is $1 is a subjective thing, isn't it? Whether that paper is actually worth the $1. Used to be when they put gold and mashed it. But after that, today, money is very subjective. When you say I have 1 trillion, it's only some zero. Subjective. Yes or not?
Right.
You think about it, okay? You have a bank in the money in the bank. It is subjective or objective?
Objective.
Because the zero. But you ask them to take out $1 trillion and give it to you in a bag. Can they do it? No, they can't. So it's subjective. So let's leave the money part of it, okay? Like you buy something, you send a little text message saying, here is the, you transfer some money, you're doing it. Subjectively, you're doing it. But you think you're doing it objectively because you've understood it that way. But let's leave the money and talk about time and mind today. Just the two things. Time is subjective because it's there, but it's subjective, meaning tomorrow is also there. From the time you were born, it was also there. Before you die, it also will be there.
Right.
It's very subjective. Therefore, your wake time is also subjective. You have 16 hours of wake time, 6 in the morning to 10 at night.
Right.
How do you make your time objective? First of all, to understand what is objective. Oh, I'm going to use 1 hour to do this, or I'm going to use 1.5 hours to do that, or I'm going to use 20 minutes to do this or that. Is objective.
Right.
And your mind must also, the subjective part of your mind must also understand that this is what you want to do. You have thought about it, you have written it down, you can see it, whatever it is, and that's what you want to do. Now, what I did was to put the subjective time and the subjective objective mind together. The brain is objective, mind is subjective. So what I did was I used the daily schedule to make it objective, meaning I have the 16 hours. And that's what I have in the daily schedule. Now, I must therefore put down from that time to this time, I want to do this. What do I want to do? It's very, it has been floating around my mind. I sit down to look at what I want to do. What do I want? Why do I want it? How am I going to achieve it? Who's going to help me? All that. I put it together and say, okay, this is what I want to do.
Right.
Every single day, my daily schedule is a guide, like a roadmap to tell me, hey, you got 16 hours. This is how you're going to use it. And I'm looking at it all the time by the left-hand side of me. Will I be productive?
Definitely.
I will achieve whatever I set out to do. In between, there may be other things that comes on. I must, this is again, very, very objective. If somebody called me, I'll switch it off, meaning I don't want to talk to you. Done. You understand? Unless, of course, my father woke up from the cemetery and called me. Otherwise, no.
Right.
So this is a discipline. So you must understand, time is subjective, your mind is subjective, and whatever you do, unless you make it objective, you will never do it. So interruption to you is one of the things I got to handle. No, for me, it's a waste of my time. I have not planned to do that today. So no.
You
Understand?
really have to be diligent in saying no.
Yes. Not only that, you must be very brutal. Do you have an appointment? No. Then make an appointment. And then I can
But
allocate time for you.
how do you do that to a client or a boss?
Even a boss, I've handled both. And I'm telling you, to the boss, I say, boss, when you call me, come here, come do this, do that, that means my thought, what I'm doing, you are interrupting me. I'm not saying you cannot do that, you can do that. But instead of making it easier for you, why don't I schedule every day? You come here at 8 o'clock, I come here at 7:30. Okay, so why don't you come at 7:30? So 7:30, 8 o'clock, let's meet. Then you can clarify everything with me. You allocated a small time in which you will meet your boss. Sometimes he can't make it, it's okay, but you are prepared for it. Your mind is, the subjective matter has become objective. I'm going to talk to my boss, and that's how you create a subjective thing into an objective thing.
Right.
Your client, as an example, tell them, listen, I don't mind you bothering me, but listen, sometimes I'm unable to react to you very quickly. Why don't I set up like this? Every Friday between 4 to 5, I call you. If there's anything, or Tuesday or Monday, whatever. A fixed time. You can call me, I can call you. Let's do it that way, so that we can get a lot of things done.
Right.
So
right.
You bring us a subjective matter into an objective reality. Now you understand when they talk about subjective reality and objective reality. This is what's all about. You bring it. You got to bring your mind and your time and convert them into an objective. From 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, I got this to do. From 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, this is what I have to do with Ikram. It's objective, right? But what we are talking about is a subjective matter with an objective time. You understand what I'm saying or not, Ikram? So the first thing to realize, like the money, you think you are transferring some money from one hand to another. No. It's a zero. You just and then it goes there, boom, $100 transferred. Isn't it?
Right.
So from 900 become 800. That's it. But you see, this is very important. Human, everybody have all the problem in the world. But the moment they do not take this time and this mind of theirs and convert it into an objective on the daily schedule, you are talking a lot of things that will not happen at all. It's just a concept. Others are the problem, others are the causing the thing, others are doing this, others come down to me, and all sorts of things will be blame on others. Because why? That is generally human beings are not, they don't understand. Therefore, it's easy to blame. But the problem is you.
Right. So the key thing you're saying now is that a busy professional must have a daily schedule.
Yes.
No compromise on this.
No, you cannot. And don't tell me I got this app and keep and all that. Keep it. Because none of that is standing in front of you, in front of you, telling you, hey, you're telling your mind, reminding your mind, it's got to be done. You already thought about it. If you are a 6:30, I mean, some people have a job, you know, they may earn several $1 million, and they tell you, like, I spin one thing like that, I get 5 million, you know, you go and do lah. But a person like you who got to work for a gaji, for money, for a salary, you better convert your subjective time and your objective, whatever you have to deliver, and use your mind to compute it from the subjective level to an objective level, put it on daily schedule, voila, it'll happen. If not, you're fooling yourself. This is the number one understanding. To understand that, also, Ikram, very important, that in a day, you have 16 wake hours, in which 3 things are very important to you. Number one, your personal self, your self-development, your own improvement. Who are you? Who am I? What am I doing here? You have to spend time for your own self. This is a fact.
Right.
This is for you. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? How can I do it? All this is you. You need to spend time for that. Number 2, your family. When I say family, your wife, your children, your mother, your father, and those which are very close to you. That is your family, not your friends. They are not. They're not your family.
Right.
Your family. You need to allocate time for that. And guess what? The third one, somebody pays you a wage. That's work. For this work area, you think you are spending about 9 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day. No, you're not. You will not spend at the maximum. You will only spend about approximately, 8 hours only, which is about roughly 50%. My data shows me it's between 40 to 50% at work alone. Work. You must take out your traveling time, all this rubbish that you go from your home to your work. Now, when you're traveling for work, it's part of that 50%.
Right.
You keep a good check, and I kept a record to show you that, okay? So now, within the 8 hours, you will only be productive 4 hours in a day, 100%. The rest of the time, you will be less than 100%. And the way you allocate that 4 hours also becomes very crucial. Now, therefore, you got to ask yourself, should I be spending time in the morning, immediately when I get up? Is exercise important to me? If it is important to you, it must be important to every single human being who is at your position. Why?
Right.
You need to put up your body, everything inside you must work 100%, right or not?
Correct.
So it's a discipline to get on the exercise every day.
Definitely.
Yeah. Some days you may have to compromise, yes. So those are the rules of the game. Okay. Now, again, people, Venga, I am stressed out and this, that. Well, you create the stress.
Venga, just before we proceed further from this, right? Would you be able to explain, just for some viewers maybe who are seeing this for the first time, or people who are not familiar with the V Planner, right? What is a daily schedule? What do you mean by it?
A daily schedule is a simple piece of paper. That's all. A simple piece of paper. In that paper, it shows you hour for hour from 6 a.m. in the morning to about 11 p.m. at night. It's divided into 20 minutes. Each hour is divided 20 minutes, 20 minutes. 20. It's a simple daily schedule. And maybe I show you mine. Okay. I show you mine and give you some idea. It's okay. Something like this. It's a daily schedule.
Right. Right.
This is what I call a daily schedule.
With every hour and basically a calendar for the day, right?
That's right. That's right. Well, let me put it this way, Ikram, don't use the word calendar, because calendar indicates it's recurring thing, you know. This is what my mind must understand. This is what I want to do, accomplish today. This daily schedule is an instruction you give to your mind to get that done.
Right.
Okay. I can give you many, many examples of that in my life. Even today, as an example, okay, I have to wake up, but I had a good night's sleep. That's another thing. You must go to bed at 10 o'clock in the night. No matter what happened, 10 o'clock, I'm in bed already, done. And you can wake up at 5 o'clock. You must use the time to use what is produced by your own body called melatonin, which comes out of your body, to completely use it so that every part, it makes you sleep and repair takes place. It is regenerate. You know, you repair yourself for the next day. So
Right.
it is important to understand that what you are doing in the daily schedule, you instruct yourself, hey, this is what I want to do. You may say, hey, I can do it electronically. Yeah, you can. Sure. But while the electronic machine is in front of you and it can pop out and pop in, it is a nuisance that doesn't make you very productive. It encourages you to get anxiety. I got to do that afterward, all that. But a daily schedule is a fixed thing which you have written on a sheet of paper. That information is transferred into your brain, and the brain can see it. It connects it. The subjective time and the objective thing that you want to achieve is linked together.
Right. Right.
And become very visible. This is what people like you have to understand. My dear Ikram, if you have your daily schedule in front of you, on your left-hand side, you will constantly look at it. What's coming next? What's coming next? As you see, you are feeding into your head, to your brain. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Okay.
Now, people say, but Venga, I'm stressed. My question always is like that. Who creates stress? Something outside creates the stress? No, it's you. You are the one created. Why? Because either you do not know how to allocate time for what you have to want to do, or you're sleepwalking, which is you are anxious, you want to do too many things, which you know you can't. Stress is created by yourself. So the way to manage stress, Ikram, I manage it that way. The manage stress is, I have to do something, I have to allocate some time. If I don't allocate it, I will never get it done. As simple as that. Stress can be managed by simply putting the, hey, I'm stressed. What am I stressed about? Oh, I got to deliver that. I got to do this, or my wife is chasing me for that. Whatever that you have to do, you put it on a piece of paper and clarify. Why is my thought like that? What you're doing. From the subjective mind, you're bringing it down to objective.
Right.
Where you can see, hear, feel, touch, and smell. Then no stress. I'm 85 years old,
Yep.
Okay. I recognize that it will happen to all of us, but we need to not manage stress. You can never manage stress. You got to understand that you are stressed because of what?
Mm.
Then objective law. So that means you can easily set out and say, hey, today, this is what I want to do, which becomes your goal. Correct or not?
Mm. Yes.
Now, if something that is important has to be delivered tomorrow, will you do it tomorrow or today?
Today, today.
Exactly. You'll think about it today. You will do some of it. Okay. You can prepare it. We always do that. We want to be perfect when we talk to someone else, right?
Correct.
So, in other words, what happens to us? We are not using the 16 hours effectively.
Right.
If you put down what you want to achieve, then are you managing yourself or not?
You
Yes.
are.
But you're not managing time, huh?
Yes.
Objective.
That's something you told me early on. You cannot manage time. You can only manage yourself. Right?
Yes, correct. You see, the way I designed the daily schedule was only for one purpose only, to make me realize there is a limit to what I can do and achieve in every single day. If you do not know that, that's the first thing to learn. In fact, when you went to school, they gave you a timetable. Correct or
Right.
not?
Right.
They also gave you homework,
That's right.
both of which you couldn't be bothered. Yes or not?
Yes.
You carried the whole bag and did the homework while in the car or in the bus because it was not important to you. But that's what I mean, no? The importance of the self is inside us. Okay. So Ikram, what can you do? You need to understand your work. Whatever work you're doing, you must. And the daily schedule is not something that you can, you manage things that are not within your control. You must manage within your control what you can do. Maybe your boss opens a door and says, I want to see you now. It can happen.
Yep.
But you can always say, hey, can I see you in half an hour? Or at worst, 20 minutes later, I've got something I have to finish. What do you think he'll tell you? No, you are my slave. Bring the rotan. No,
He might say, okay, he might agree actually. The way you were talking, how you spoke to your bosses, that you're getting interrupted and you can't do your work, and then going the extra step to say, let me schedule something with you every day. I think that's a fantastic way of handling this. It made me think, so when we say we don't have time because I've got to report to people, I'm getting pulled here, that's actually not other people. It's still within your control. It's just you're not taking effort to solve the problem.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Ikram. You see, I was asked to conduct a seminar for this famous company called Microsoft when they had the Outlook, when they launched the Outlook.
Mm-hmm.
They took me to Singapore, to do that thing for them. And then I was amazed, when I told the participants, please, all of you got computers, okay, please open up and show me your Outlook. And everyone opened up. And I just walked around with a few people, including their own trainers and all that around. And I asked them to make a list, number of emails in the inbox, how much How many of that seen, unseen, and all that? You'll be surprised to learn, okay? There were more than 5,000 emails unread in every one of the computers.
Wow, that's a
Now,
lot.
it's a lot, right? Do you know why? Because it's a stupid thing, lah. Because it was email was like that, they put CC copy to a whole lot of people. So you're getting a copy of something which you
Right.
don't even have to bother about. You understand what I'm saying, Ikram? So that question of, oh, send me an email, give me a copy, all that, better come down to the minimum. So I taught them a method. That is noted, the word NOTED, noted, reply. Every email noted, done. Then those emails that are important to the other person, he'll come back to you. Hey, you noted what? Okay, that's one you handle. You understand?
Right.
So it's a question of everybody thinks, in those days they give a carbon copy. Then they have a BCC, blank or don't know what BCC. What is it called? I don't know what BBC.
I think
BCC.
it means a blind carbon copy, if I'm not mistaken.
I do not know. Anyway, all the rubbish. In this today's world, a CC copy is so easy. Like, they send you message as if you got nothing else better to do. I spoke to a very high-ranking HR person just a few days ago. And I told him, unless you become brutal with your time, people will take you for granted. Meaning like that, no? If you yourself don't value the time that you have only 16 hours and you got to finish this and finish that. Now, if you yourself don't realize it, people will take advantage of it. They'll run all over you. You are allowing that to happen. So again, Lana, simple as that. Email is crucial. Take the other thing, communication. What do you communicate with people, Ikram? Why?
Sorry, my mic was on mute.
Okay.
I communicate information, to communicate ideas, ways of doing things.
Okay. You see, to me, very early age, I learned this. You communicate to express, not to impress. So if I want to express something to you, I better know what I'm talking about. At least I must understand it. You communicate to express, not to impress.
Correct.
Many a time, Ikram, you know this, Lana, we talk to our wife, our children, in a manner in which uncalled for, Lana. Only I and you can recognize. You must recognize, hey, I should have said it this way. I've said it that way. Yesterday, I had a conversation with a father, and I told him how to talk to his son. Because then he realized that how he said it may not be the right way to tell his son. Okay, how to tell the son how to kick the ball or how to play the ball. A lot of time, if you do things without thinking. So communication is about
Express.
telling people what you know, what you think. Is that right or not?
Right, absolutely. It's correct. Vinga, we're actually coming to, we've got a few more minutes left. So let me just recap what you've been saying. the a busy professional must have, I think this one you've made it very clear, there should be no compromise. They must have a daily schedule. Uh, and they need to decide what they want to do every day. Second, busy professionals will feel that they're getting pulled here and there. What you're saying is that they need to prioritize. There is a way. So you've said personal, family, work, friends, right? What is getting your priority? And once you've prioritized that, you decide what you want to do in the day, and then you put it down in writing. And that is how you manage the day, right?
Yes.
And you take
Yes.
it one step, like your book, it is one day at a time.
The time. That's what.
Okay, right. So I hope it's a very simple formula, I think. Uh, uh, Prioritize, decide what you want to do for today, put it down in your daily schedule. Um, and of course, don't make excuses anymore. Everything is within your control, whether it's a boss, whether it's a client, whether there is a way to handle them and say, hey, I will get back to you on this, or let's set up a regular meeting, and you can actually work around those.
That's correct. That's correct. You see, Ikram, as a final thing, no? You must want to improve. And if you choose not to improve, it's okay. But daily you must improve. And to do that, you must review what you have done, no? And ask yourself a simple question, I've done this. Am I happy with what I've done?
Mm.
And if I'm not happy, can I make it better next time? That's it. As simple as that, no? Review yourself. The more you review, the better you will be.
Absolutely.
So it's not so difficult, but it's you that's the key, okay?
So simple yet very useful. When we came into the topic of time management for busy professionals, I thought it's going to be, there's a lot of things, but you've done it very well, Pinga. You've just broken it down to a single sheet of paper, and you deciding what you want to do for the day and allowing that to be your compass.
That's correct. Ikram, what I'm telling you has been practiced thousands and thousands of years ago by the Indians. No?
Mm-hmm.
That's why they say in the morning, you must do a sadhana.
Right.
Okay.
Which is
that you wake yourself up and do a certain things in your mind so that your mind is alert. And the mind and you are one and the same person. So that you can handle what you are going to do for today. You have to handle what you want to do for the day.
Right.
So it's a kind of a thing that you do. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Venga. That was an insightful chat we had this evening. And to our viewers and listeners, if you have any questions about today's episode, you may want to understand further what a daily schedule is and what it means. Please post your questions down in the comment section, and Dr. Venga will personally answer them. Our next episode on personal development for entrepreneurs is happening on the first Wednesday of July. That's July 3rd at 8 p.m. as usual. Thank you.
Good night.